Hi guys, welcome to this session on Microsoft PowerPoint. In this module I want to look at how you can link Excel data into a PowerPoint slide and have it automatically update. So first of all we're going to look at using paste special, then we'll look at insert an object, and then we'll create a hyperlink. So first of all, paste special. So I need to get an Excel file open, so let me just get into Excel and just make that full screen. Open up a file called charting. Let's say I want this data on a slide and I want it to be linked, so I copy it. I come back into PowerPoint and I go to home and paste special. I need paste special, and then the key to this working is paste link, and then you get these two different formats. The top one is what I want. Click OK to that. Comes in. Now if I change something in Excel, that should pick it up in PowerPoint. So if I go back to Excel and just change that one to 1111 and then go back into PowerPoint, that should have picked it up, and it has picked it up, so it's a link. So if this was summary data that you need to report on, you just link the summary data into your PowerPoint and then save the PowerPoint as a template, and then every time you open that template, it will ask you, do you want to update data? You say yes, and then you'll have the most recent figures. Now you can also do that with a graph. So if I click on this, copy, come back into PowerPoint and do the same process. So I'm doing paste special again, paste special, paste link. I only get one option, OK. And that is a graph that is also linked. So if I go back into Excel and change the data, so I'll change it quite drastically, so I'll get rid of that 20,000 so the graph does change. Delete it off completely. I didn't change that much, so let's change this and let's change that. So now that's changed quite drastically. So if I go back to PowerPoint, you can see it's picked that up, that change. So is the table. So those are two different ways of linking Excel data into a PowerPoint slide. If I just delete that one off for a sec, no, I'll leave that one, I'll get a second slide. You can also insert an object, and the difference is this: insert object, create from file, browse. I'll have to get a different file because that one's still open. So examples, I'll go into archive because I've got another one called that, I think. No, I don't. So go back. I'll pick just a different file. Conditional formatting will do. I'll link that. OK. So it comes in. That's the first sheet of conditional formatting. But the difference is this: when you insert an object, if I double click on that, it opens the source file, and then you can change the sheet. And if I just save that for a second and close this down, go back to PowerPoint, now that sheet has changed. So you do get a little bit more flexibility with insert objects in that you can rotate through multiple sheets. But it is still linked, and if I update, this is a live link, if I update the source file, this will be reflected in this file, in this slide. If I go back to the first slide and double click on that, that does the same thing. You can double click into it, but you've just linked this small table, not the whole file. So back into PowerPoint. And then another option is to just create a hyperlink. So I'm just going to change the layout to a normal title and bullet slide. And if I just type in their accounts, for example, so insert object will give you some functionality in that you can double click into it and navigate around Excel. You've got the whole program of Excel there, so that's cool. I quite like that option. Obviously you make that full screen, but you might also want to do a simple hyperlink, which is this next one. So if I double click on accounts to highlight it and then go insert link, and if I just click on link, it gives you the option there to link to a place in this document or an existing file. So if I go open and find another file in examples, I'll pick, what can I pick? That one will do. And then OK to that. Now that doesn't work unless you're in full screen, presentation mode. So if I go into full screen, that is now a hyperlink to that. Now this doesn't normally come up, but I'll just say yes to that. And that opens that file, and you can see that file in its entirety, and you can also navigate through the sheets as well. Close that down, back to PowerPoint. So I click that again, it's coming up with this. Yes, I do. So having shown you the three options, personally, I always go for the first option, just get the bits and bobs that I want. But I can see the benefit of the insert object as an option where you can double click and change the sheet, and that's a live link. Just make that full screen. Go back onto the first sheet, or let's go into a different one, changing weekends. There's loads of different sheets in here. This one is just a video I've just recently done, so I'll leave it on that one. And then save that, and then go back to PowerPoint and see what's there. Where's my mouse? That didn't change over for some reason. Save. Close. There you go, it's changed now. So I don't know what happened there, but it didn't change over. So there's three different ways of doing it. Now, the downside of bringing a graph in is that when you want to do animation on a graph that's linked, you lose some functionality. So if I just go and show you that for a second, so I'll get the pane on, add animation. So I'll just go for dissolve in, which is what I normally do, dissolve in. And then what you can normally do when you do a normal graph, effect options gives you the ability to animate this graph, and there's nothing there. It says chart animation normally. So I'll just show you that so you can see what I'm talking about. If I insert a graph in Excel, I'll just use the default data. That'll do. So if I animate this graph, so I'll do exactly the same as what I just did there. Add animation, dissolve in. And when you go to effect options there, or at the top there, you get the extra tab chart animation, which allows you to actually animate whichever way you want there. So I'll pick the bottom one, element in category. Okay, and you'll get a little preview of it. So that's what you can normally do with a graph in PowerPoint. However, if you've used the link feature, paste special and link feature, which I have on the other graph, just delete that out of the way, you don't get that option. You can dissolve the graph in entirety in, but you don't get the option to bring bits of it in on the mouse click. So basically that's three different ways of presenting Excel data in a PowerPoint slide. So that's all I want to talk about for this session. So thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.